Good evening. It is Friday, the 15th of May. Can't believe we're midway through May already. And we are here to talk about home education, the challenges, the related challenges, what you can do, and all of the other things. With me are Michelle and Amy and Kat. And I'm Alison Sauer, and without further ado, we'll just crack on with what we're doing. Juliet is not with us today because she's at her conference, but we'll talk about that right at the end. Okay. So the first thing is we have this crowdfunder. Michelle, do you want to talk about this?
Yes, and the total's actually a little bit higher than that now. It's just gone up, which is good. So anyone who's been watching this for the last year will have heard of the Children's Wellbeing and Schools Bill, which is now the Children's Wellbeing and Schools Act. Now, one of our biggest concerns with home education is it changes the relationship. So it adds consent areas where there were not consent areas before, and there are potential human rights breaches. So Sarah, very brave to put her name out there as the lead claimant, has instructed a solicitor. I don't think it's any surprise to anyone that that's Michael Charles, because obviously Michael Charles has been out following this from the start, has had many people interested in how this might be challenged, and Sarah has now instructed him. So unfortunately, the legal challenges are not cheap. Because to do a good legal challenge, you do need solicitors and barristers. You ideally want KCs because they've got more experience, particularly if you're going up against the government, because this is a challenge against the government. So the plan is a potential judicial review. But to get that started, obviously, we need money in the bank to pay for the lawyers. So that's what this crowdfund is about. The end total is probably nearer 250,000, but that's not to get it started. That will be if we have to do the later stages and stuff. But to show that we can do whatever it takes to be able to be heard, we do need that money there. But if we can get to that 30,000, that means we can get cracking. So Sarah can get cracking with getting everything started properly. Crowd justice is used because you can read there yourself. The money goes directly to the legal team, and anything that's over the amount, they've got like their own sort of support bit. So it's very clear what's happening with the money. You can check on the thing yourself. People can leave their own comments, and this is about the important thing to realise with judicial reviews is they're not an exact science. And because this is against an actual act, it needs to be framed very carefully. And it is obviously looking at the human rights bits. It's looking at the child's right to education, and looking at discrimination. So it is looking at all of those bits, but it's about looking at the compatibility, because if you look at the Children's Wellbeing and Schools Act, at the very beginning, the Secretary of State has signed off that the Act is compatible with the Human Rights Act. Now, we feel that that probably isn't the case, but until it's tested in court, we won't know whether it stands that it is compatible with the Human Rights Act or if it is incompatible. Now, if it's found to be incompatible, then Parliament has to reconsider how the law operates, because obviously they have declared this is compatible with the Human Rights Act. And then that has the potential to make a significant difference. But at this stage, we need to get the money climbing to ensure that we can get the legal challenge off the ground. Because it's, it'll be bigger than just Michael Charles, because as I said, we need the other professionals in as well. So if people can get behind Sarah and start donating, that'd be fantastic. But on top of the financial element, we also need people coming up if they meet. So if you look on the crowdfunder page, there's criteria of some other categories of people, which I know many on this call will fit into. We need your stories. We need all of that information to sort of get all the case stuff in the background there to show that this isn't just a one-off person. This is something that, yes, that's it. This is something that will impact quite a lot of home educating families or people considering home education. So if you fall into those categories, again, make us aware, because your case may need to be, if you can and you're willing to, part of like evidence of different case studies that this isn't a unique thing. This is something that impacts a lot of people and will have a big impact on families and children, and interfering with their private life. So, donate if you can. If you can't donate, at least share and amplify. And if you're in one of those categories, let us know. You can sort of let us know on the Home Ed Action Group, or DM into the page, and then we'll let Sarah know who may be available in the background to help with the stories that are needed that show that this isn't an isolated element. This is something that's happening to people.
Yeah. Just a comment, really, lessons that we have learned over the last few years of campaigning is that the algorithms on places like Facebook are not your friend. Not everybody that you think is going to see you posting and sharing is going to see you posting and sharing. There are two things that you can do. One of them is to write a thing, put a picture, and then put the link in your comments underneath. That helps. It will have much further reach if you do that. It sounds really stupid, but that's the way it goes. Facebook does not like you directing people in your original post. Doesn't like you directing people away from Facebook. It's the same on other platforms as well, Instagram, etc. So put a picture for attention, and put a blurb about it, and then put the link to the page like this underneath in the first comment. The other thing is that just because you've shared it in a group does not mean that more than 1% of that group have actually seen it. So do feel free to share again a few times and to post it again a few times on your social media. Just because you posted it once, it won't be enough. We need to push it a bit. Let's get to that 30,000 by this time next week. That would be amazing.
And if I can just add a little tip there, if you have a professional profile or a page on Facebook and you can schedule posts, once you've scheduled that post, you can go back into your list of scheduled posts. When you open up the preview where it shows you what your post looks like, you can actually add a comment to that scheduled post and it will be published at the same time. So in case you're worried that, if I do that, I have to come back at that time just to add the comment. No, you don't. If you don't have a personal page, maybe set one up if you'd like to. If not, keep sharing in the group, keep sharing other people's things. Right, moving on. We have, if I get the right window.
That was our big story of the week, by the way. So there we go. Yes.
Yep.
So this is the open consultation. When's it close? There we go.
18th of May.
On Monday. So it closes on Monday. It's really important, this consultation. It's not very well run, this consultation, etc., etc., etc. All the things that we've said before. If you go on to the next one, Kat, we've got quite a good. Fiona Nicholson has got some really interesting stuff on her website about this consultation.
She said on her blog that she'll be around answering in her blog comments and on social media tomorrow on Saturday.
Yeah. So if you've got questions, she will be hanging around and you may get answers almost instantaneously. You get some very rapid answers from her. And then there's a walkthrough, isn't there? Here we go. So this lady here, Rachel, She's done an amazing series of short videos on filling in the consultation, question by question. Absolutely brilliant, really helpful. You can run that alongside you actually filling it in, and it'll be really helpful. And thank you, Rachel, for that. Is all I can say. That's terrific. We haven't had time to do something like that, but she has, and she's done a great job. Okay.
Sorry, just adding that in the comments. Next, that would be one of my things, wouldn't it? You might be aware that in Parliament, they have, obviously, every week they've got Prime Minister's questions. That tends to be the one everyone's familiar with. But they actually have departmental question times. So all the departments take it in turns to answer questions. MPs can put in oral questions, and it's about once every 6 weeks that each department gets called. Now, unfortunately, education is only going to come up once before the summer break. So we have until the 16th of June to, well, our MPs have until the 16th of June to get questions in to try and get selected for that. If they're not selected as oral questions, you can ask your MP to submit it as a written question. The other thing is that despite the fact there's only one go at education before the summer, there are other departments we can put questions into. We can put questions to Department of Science, Innovation and Technology.
Yeah.
About what AI are they going to use with the children's data. We can ask questions of health. Just if you can fashion your question to suit any department, on you go. Absolutely. If you need any help with it, come find us in the action group, come find us on Discord, and we will help you try and get these questions into some form that they can't go, well, no, we can't do that. So,
and it's quite a good way of getting your MP to engage, because they find it relatively difficult to refuse to pass your question to the minister, even if it's just in a letter. So if you ask your MP to ask a department a question, they are almost obligated to do that. It's very difficult for them to refuse that.
Yep.
And that's regardless of whether they believe in what you're saying. They don't have to believe in what you're saying at all. That's the rule. The rule is they don't have to be on your side, but they have to pass your question on.
Yep. So we can try, can't we, and see what we can get answers to.
Absolutely.
I will put a link to this PDF that will go in Substack on Monday. No,
that's right.
Moving
I was just
on.
thinking another one of them would be the women's. I think the women's minister has got a
That's
question.
also Bridget.
Yeah. Oh.
And often somehow education and women and qualities have always been on the same week. Very convenient, but yeah. Anyway, moving on.
So what you're saying is she only works 1 week.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Just
if you can call it work.
I mean, the big ministers don't answer written questions. They don't seem to turn up for children's well-being in schools bill debates, and I'm not saying anything.
Yeah. Okay, so
Right.
this is a report from Stockton. Now we've seen quite a number of these news stories over the past few months. You know, shock horror. Such and such a local authority has had an increase in home education by blah 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 blah, or children not in school or whatever. But what it adds up to basically is what we have been banging on about, that the education system is not fit for purpose. And there's a huge number of children out there who for whom the school system doesn't work. I was watching, there was a education select committee the other day, and they were saying that this new inclusion idea, you know, where everybody's going to end up in mainstream and special schools going to be, you know, like rocking horse poo, even more than it is right now, the availability of it, that's only going to work if we take our class sizes down to the European average. I didn't know the European average is 19 to 21. in a class. How different is that? How
What is
different?
the current average? I have no idea actually. What's the current average now?
I think it's 30 in a secondary school.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just absolutely
Bonkers.
unmanageable. Bonkers.
Yep.
Anyway, so, again, we've got mental health problems. Schools are causing mental health problems because they're not meeting special educational needs for many, many, many and complex and diverse reasons that children are not having their needs met. They may not be identified. They may be identified and ignored. They may not have the right paperwork in place. There may not be the funding in place. They may be in the wrong school. There's a million and one reasons. Children are just leaking out of schools either by just not rocking up for school or by going off into home education. So and the government's answer for it is really just to force children into school.
And it fits the national overview of children that are coming out of school, because Stockton have 130 reported as saying that mental health was the reason for their deregistration. So they aren't uncharacteristically different to a lot of other councils.
Yeah, it's the same story across the board. It really is. And nobody's listening. Now, yes, yeah, Patience says, I didn't have to click on it, Kat. Patience said, Patience, Kat was telling me off earlier because I've not been doing the IT properly. I've had to have a lesson. Patience says, my kids had 33 in one class and 34 in another in primary. I mean, honestly, I have no idea how anything other than just crowd control happened in that room. Basically, teaching and learning will be out the window, really. Okay. Oh boy, yeah.
Yep, we've still got what's being dubbed the social media consultation. Just a reminder that is coming up towards the end of the month. But the other reason I brought it up this week was the fact of all the drama that's been going on down in London and things, hasn't it?
Yes.
So
yeah.
mhm.
Jess Phillips, I thought I'd met posh people, but I'd only met people that eat olives. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just that one bit of her letter. I've got to find it in a sec.
It's towards
somewhere.
the bottom.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
There it is. No.
Nope, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. But basically, the general reporting is that she has quit because it hasn't been agreed that they will put software on everyone's phones that will scan all the images taken to protect children from taking intimate images of themselves. And what I took from her letter was the fact that within days of the social media consultation finishing, that she's almost been promised that there will be action on this particular matter, and it's not even, because it says in June, and that doesn't even give time to look through a fraction of the consultation responses properly, because we know they're going to put it through various AI processing and things.
And in July, we're
really
still expecting that list of sites to be published.
By
so
it
was delayed from
no, who by?
Ofcom. It's not Ofcom. It's the other one. But they were meant to publish it in October, November last year, but because Wikimedia weren't happy with being put on that list, they've had to go through a whole consultation process.
Okay,
which
but
will
list of what?
Change the list of sites that are to be considered high risk. So social media, basically, the definition of. Not that they like to use the word.
But
we will just have to wait until they get to it.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what they're going to say about that, because that's gone a bit backwards and forwards. But I mean, the basic thing is that yet again they are showing that they don't care about consultation. They're not listening to anybody because they've already decided what's happening. I think it's the paragraph just above that where it says June in the middle of the there it is. There you go.
There it is. Yes, thank you.
I promise this will happen in June. You know, the announcement was meant to be in March, so they're wanting to push things through. So we know that they've already decided what's going to happen, a bit like they decided we were going to have a children not in school register before they consulted, and they were going to have a children. You know, they push through blindly regardless. They don't care about consultation. They don't care about expert opinion. They have decided what they are going to do and bugger the rest of us. So that's it really. So it's just it just blatantly shows that is the way this government is going. And I'm not saying that the previous one was any better at it. I'm just saying this is what's happening right now.
Yep.
Before anybody,
it's still worth it's still worth taking the time to fill out the consultations, but we are realistic about what they're doing. Just we battle on regardless.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that is most things for today. And we've
we've just
tomorrow.
Got, yes, what's happening tomorrow? Oh, and this is where the lovely, lovely, lovely Juliet is right now. And actually, it's where Michelle is right now, if we're really honest, because that's why she's not in her normal living room on this call. She is actually in a hotel because tomorrow she is speaking at the Learn Free Home Educators Conference. It's an absolutely brilliant. I'm devastated not to be there this year, and I really do mean that because I love it's my favorite conference. And Jen's going to be there. Our very good friend Jen. All sorts of people. In fact, she was on the train earlier doing a little thing. There you go, Jen Hodge, keynote speaker. Also, Heidi Steele, Nicola Leyland, our very own Michelle, and Katie Finlayson. So loads of really, really great people there. And we have gone on ad nauseum for the last few years about the politics and the struggles and all the rest of it. We're putting all that to one side tomorrow at this conference, and this is all about we're focusing back on the children. We are focusing back on doing the very best for our children, nurturing them into being fully functioning wonderful young people through home education, and how that can happen. If you go to this conference, you will come away feeling empowered. I guarantee that you will do that. This is what Juliet is really good at. It's her superpower, is that she is amazing at supporting families to do the very best for their children in the most wonderful way possible. And that is what this conference is all about this year. There's still space to go. You can actually turn up on the door if you want to, and you will be able to get in. They've got a few spaces that you won't get pushed away.
And I saw Juliet announced as well, if you can only do a part day, when you arrive on the door, there's a special reduction if you can only do part of the day. So if you go onto the Learn Free Facebook, Juliet did a little sort of commenting earlier today about that. If you haven't booked a ticket because you're like, I can only do part of the day, there is a special offer for that as well.
And it's a fully accessible site with accessible parking as well. So if you need to go and you need level access, you need an assistance dog, you need the ability to go outside and take a breather. There's lots of food places around as well. So you don't have to see.
It's right next to the station as well. So there's no
really easy to get to.
You don't need to get a taxi from the railway station to the venue. You just get out and go to the venue. It's great. It's absolutely marvelous. Yeah. So
well, I hope Michelle and Amy have a really good time tomorrow. Since you're both going.
I think they will. I'm sure they will.
Yeah, we can live vicariously through them this time.
Yeah, I think so. I will be there next year. Yeah, definitely.
You make it sound like a threat.
Well, I've got an event here on Sunday, so I can't, and I'm project managing it, so I can't not not be here.
Yeah.
That's the. I
Yep.
was gutted, absolutely gutted. So I'm going to have to make sure the dates don't clash next year. Definitely. Yeah.
Just to remind everybody as well, if you want the link to the Substack, please put exclamation Substack in the Facebook chat. If you're
I've already
on
got it in
YouTube,
the comments.
just ask for it.
Yep.
And
I've already
somebody
added it
will
in the
link
comments
you.
there. It's fine.
Yep, there's Kat's already put it in the comments, but you know, if you're struggling, just ask and somebody will definitely help you. Do share this content as well, because the more that you share it on other platforms and around other groups on Facebook, the better it is for everybody to be on the same page and informed and all kind of getting involved. And that's basically what we need, isn't it, Alison?
Yes, definitely. That's what we need. So I've got some feedback then. I do apologize. I shoved my microphone on mute very quickly. Yes, we definitely need it. Just share. Let's get lots of people signing up to the Substack. It is a great way of keeping up to date. We shove loads on the Substack that I say it's the royal we. Kat does all the flipping work. There's loads that goes on the Substack that doesn't appear in our broadcasts every week. So
we'd be here every night if we tried to cover everything, put it that way, and then we still wouldn't have enough time.
And you'd be bored to
all
death.
The links will be there.
Well,
yes,
you'd be bored to
sick
death
of us.
and sick of us. So so we just try and condense it down to the juicy bits.
And obviously you can continue the conversation as well on Discord with us, because we are there as well. So we're trying to be as far ranging as we possibly can be and as accessible as possible for everybody. So, you know, do come and get involved.
Links.
Yeah.
Yep. I think we will be back next Friday, or at least some of us will. We'll see how that goes. I will try and get everything set up a bit earlier next week. But other than that, I think that's us for the evening.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Get your friends to come and watch. We've kept it nice and short. I said we had a goal of keeping it less than half an hour. Yay! We made it with 3 minutes to spare. Okay. All right, then. Thank you, everybody. Have a lovely weekend. Have a lovely evening. And I hope a lot of you will get to see Michelle and Amy at the conference tomorrow. Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.